Coach, how would you describe Tommy Armstrong tonight?
Really good. I thought he ran well. He completed some balls. Took care of it. I thought just a really solid game overall.
What about his guts and determination?
Yeah, I think he kind of rolled an ankle and kind of fought through that. And we put Riker in for a few plays and then got him back in there. And I thought Riker, went in and did it right, just like he should. And he had a lot of work early in the week with Tommy's status. So it was good to see Riker go in there and perform like we need him to. And then we got Tommy back and finished it off.
Coach, running backs only had 2 carries in the first half. Was that a point of emphasis to get them going in the second half?
Yeah, but we had a lot of run and run pass options that became passes and helped our completion a little bit. They were loaded up in the box, and so it became a throw. So it was a run call that became a throw. So it took away from some of their carries. We carried Tommy a little bit. I ran Tommy a little bit more, and we only had 22 plays. So I think that was those numbers were a little skewed in terms of what we'd like to be, but that's what the plan was, and that was how it came out.
How cautious were you with Tommy? Did you narrow your plays down a little bit to kind of protect him a little bit?
Not in terms of health, as more as he hadn't practiced much this week. He got cleared, so it wasn't like he was cleared for some things and not others. So we ran our quarterback runs and had some draw with him. So we didn't do anything that way that limited him. We just didn't have probably as many things overall just because of the practice time.
Can you talk a little bit about the line and then specifically what Foster brought to it?
Yeah, I thought Jerald went in there and played great. We obviously haven't graded the film, but just the presence of having him there, his athletic ability, his toughness, his leadership. He's a fiery guy. I think it was just good having him back. It was first time we've been back to full strength, in that group since fall camp. So I think that was encouraging. I thought, we're playing some guys that are a little beat up, but I think having him back was good. And Cole Conrad's playing well. He filled in at that right tackle position. So I felt good about his play, and Nick Gates, of course. I just think they all, we were, without the amount of possession time early in the game, we weren't quite into a rhythm we'd like to be in until later in the game. And so you want to get that going. And we had a couple 3-and-outs in the second quarter that weren't any good, and you got to eliminate that stuff. But I thought that group as a whole played well.
Danny, Mike mentioned conditioning with Jerald being maybe a concern.
Yeah.
Week, and I don't know that he came off the field. Are you surprised he was able to give you all that?
That was a little bit of a concern for us, is just how long he could last and if he was going to get gassed on long drives. And he was doing fine. Like I said, we didn't have that many plays in the first half, so it probably helped him. And he's playing with a lot of adrenaline, and he was fine. So that was something we talked about a little bit early, but in the week. But he ended up being fine.
That third, you said long drive, that 13-play drive, got a pretty good mix of some run and pass. What going out there for that? What you kind of see, or what you want to see, or what you're looking for in that one?
We always are trying to get some of those runs. Some of the run plan today with some of the quick throws were a combination of a read. So it was a run or a pass that, as a called run turns into a pass off the look. And so that helped our balance and helped our rhythm a little bit because we were able to complete those and get some good hits, soften up the coverage a little bit, and then get some good yards running. So I think the balance and run and pass is always a key for us. It's how we play at our best.
Tommy had some good throws on that one.
Yeah.
Playing on a bad wheel, is that
Yeah.
pretty impressive for you?
It was. I think.
For that drive?
Yeah, he's a tough kid. Plays through a lot of stuff, and I think he gives us our best every time, and I'm proud of that. He competes. He shows up every time, and we weren't sure if we'd have him early in the week, and I thought Riker practiced well, prepared hard, and when he went in there, he was ready to go. So it's good to have two, and you always need it throughout the season.
Coach, when did you know you were going to have When did you know you were going to have time? Remember just before the game started?
Yeah, it was looking pretty good Thursday. We kind of went through, made sure Friday. We weren't completely 100% until today, but I thought he looked like he was feeling good, and we were waiting for the doctors, so we planned both ways.
What kind of lift did just being out there give the team?
With him being out there? Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's played a lot of ball for us, and guys knew that he's fighting through some stuff, and it's late in the year, and he's beat up, and he was able to get some rehab and rest and come through, and played well. So it's good for us, and like I said, you need two, but I was excited that he was cleared and ready to go, and the fact that he played well was good.
Any win is good, but how much did you need this for your psyche and your team?
Yeah, big. After last week's mess, it was really big, and I think that our guys responded well in practice. I thought they worked. I thought they had good attitudes. As bad as everybody felt Sunday, I think guys bounced back and really came ready to go Tuesday morning. Put in a great week of work, and they're a resilient group. They were down at half after a bad last week, and they go and finish off that fourth quarter like they did on both sides of the ball. It was good to see.
Danny, why were you so successful attacking the perimeter in the passing game tonight? Did you see something in the game film against Minnesota, or what?
Yeah, they were soft out there, and they had a lot of guys inside, and so we wanted to make sure that if they were going to do that, load it up, that we were going to try to get out there, and I think that helped us. It loosened it up a little bit in the box. It created some inside runs later on that helped us that we needed. And it's just something that we had studied and felt good about in the game plan.
Is that a strength of Tommy's too, to attack like that on the outside, or is that something he's?
You mean running or throwing?
Throwing
Yeah, when we have it, it's a quick throw. We talked a lot about finding some completions and getting into that passing rhythm, and sometimes it's not always a quick, it's a completion. So we hit some of those quick throws that were big for us to kind of get that confidence back and going, and anytime you're able to do that and get that completion percentage up, you just have such a better balance that we were able to do that.
I got personnel involved too a little bit.
Yeah. Yep, got the ball in his hands. I thought he just missed on both flies. I mean, they were inches from being big. One of them, I thought maybe if he could have bounced outside, it would have because we had blockers. But he did a nice job on that, and did a nice job with the catch and run.
About Newby, he seemed like one of the.
Yeah. He was good, and I love Trey's touchdown catch was, the thing about him, he takes a perfect angle to it, and that's easier said than done when you're running from the backfield looking back. You can tend to drift, and I thought he had a great angle, caught it. It was a good throw, a catch and run play where he can keep his speed up, and then he just, burned around the corner and scored. It was a really nice play.
Is that it's probably hard to think back at this point. Is that the best, maybe the screen game has looked all year?
Yeah.
The best one you hit?
I think so, and we had one on a 3rd and long that sometimes those are tough because it's a screen down, and they're going to play you with soft coverage and not much rush, or they're going to come after you. So if you hit them right on those 3rd and longs, you might get one, but that was the one hit we didn't hit. Otherwise, I think we were really good on it, and I think we had one penalty on a screen that it was a big hit too.
Coach Trey Bryant came, out of the spring game with a lot of height. How much have you seen him grow this year? That kind of led him to this point.
Yeah, he's really gotten a lot of work on special teams. He's gotten a lot of great game experience, getting his feet wet playing in games. Not a ton in offense yet, but he's a smart kid. We've been a little beat up. Divine's been a little beat up, so putting him in there was part of the plan. But he's a kid that's mature. He's able to handle, a great high school player. Sometimes, depends on where they played. It's not that easy to make that transition in year one. I think he's done a nice job of coming in here and competing and looking like he belongs.
Between the balance of taking care of the ball, do you feel pretty good now with a couple games left riding off that?
Yeah, that
feeding off that?
it's just a big key, is obviously taking care of it. But when you can have some success running and you can complete some throws, it just life's a little easier. And when you get when you get one thing taken away and have to rely on just one thing, it makes you play the way we don't want to play very often. So they did a nice job. Both the receivers. With the short stuff and the ball carriers ran hard and the line was good. It was a good solid effort from the whole offense.
Coming in, I mean, what were you realistically expecting that you would get out of Jerald? Kind of given
Yeah, early on, not much. As the week wore on, I thought this might be okay. And we had said once he got cleared, we said let's play him. Didn't know how long he'd last. Didn't know if he'd be out of shape, and gassed. And I mentioned earlier we didn't run but 22 plays in the first half, so I don't think he was too worn out by any means. But that was a concern. I thought he was fine.
I think that was his first start too. I mean,
Yeah.
Did you have to kind of?
Well, that's the thing.
A little bit?
We laughed about it a little bit. He was a starter in fall camp, hadn't played. We're all fired up because we've got some more healthy bodies, and we kind of have to remember, well, wait a minute, this guy hasn't played yet. So, we were making sure we were watching him, but he did great.
Coach, they play such a game of keep away from you, and they had it for about 20 minutes in
Yeah.
the first half. How important was the first drive
Oh.
of the second half?
Yeah.
You guys talk about it at halftime, and how important was it to execute
Yeah,
that first drive?
It was big. We talked about not panicking. We had some self-inflicted wounds on a couple of the 3 and outs, just some stupid penalties, and so part of that was our fault on the time of possession. So we really needed to get in the ball to start the second half. We really needed to kind of get back on track. I thought we did that with a good drive to start the half, and then he just kind of went from there. But it was big coming out of half with some energy.
To follow up, you talked about the